Adeina here with Creative Lifestyles with Adeina. Have you seen the newest hot chocolate craze? It's the hot chocolate bomb, and I'm gonna show you how to create these. They're a little less expensive if you create them yourself, but there are a few steps you do need to follow to make them good. So the first step is the type of chocolate. So we have the baker's chocolate and the Ghirardelli chocolate. These are the two I would suggest. They melt better, but they also harden better. There's a few chocolates out there you want to make sure you don't use, like candy melts, things like that, because they don't harden as well. Plus they don't melt as well in your hot chocolate. The next step is your mold. This is the mold you want to use. This makes it the round ball, but there are other molds you could use. I wouldn't suggest the metal molds. I did try that, it didn't come out as well. But there's also these molds I got in the soap section, and then there's some little emoji molds. All of these can be found at your local craft store or online. I ended up getting this online at a craft store, but they are a little hard to find right now because this is really popular. So make sure you order them now. The next step is you want to be able to melt your chocolate. Now this is a melting pot, you can get it at any craft store, but you could also do it on a double boiler on the stove, which is not as hard. It's kind of like a two-pan situation where you put one pan inside another pan of water. So that's another step of melting, but the melting pot makes it really simple. So next, we're going to fill our mold. So what you want to do is you want to put about a tablespoon of chocolate in each of the little crevices here. And then after you do that, you're going to take a basting brush. Now you could use the back of your spoon, that works as well, but I like the basting brush. It's just a little simpler. And what you want to do is you want to get this all up on the sides here like so, because the sides, you want to make sure that they're covered really well, because you don't want them to break when you're putting it together. So let's get this. And the next step after this is you're going to put it in the refrigerator for about 10 to 20 minutes until it's hardened, because we're going to do this all over again. Okay, so once we have this completely covered, make sure you have a cookie sheet with a baker's rack or some kind of thing that the chocolate can fall through, because you're going to tip this over. Now don't worry, you're not going to hurt it. You just want to kind of tap that extra chocolate out of there so that when you put your second, it's not too thick. All right, so there we go. We're going to stick this in the fridge for about 10 minutes. Okay, I just pulled our chocolate bombs out of the fridge, and the first layer is nice and hardened and cooled. So now we're going to put a second layer of chocolate on here, just like we did with the first. Put a spoonful of chocolate in each little crevice. You may have to melt a little more chocolate, but that's okay. And then you're gonna brush it around just like we did with the first one, and then stick it back in the fridge for about another 10, maybe 15 minutes. You wanna make sure that it's nice and cold, because when you work with them, they'll melt quickly. So you wanna make sure that it's hardened and it's cold. And brush that around, and we're gonna use the same step like we did before. Flip it over on the baker's rack to get that extra chocolate out. Get those edges, guys. All right, so I just pulled out our chocolate bombs, the second layer. Now we're gonna put them together. One quick tip is you wanna have an old cake pan or a new cake pan, it doesn't matter, but you wanna have a cake pan that you can put and get it a little warm. I've got a little burner here, so I've got that going, but you could obviously do it on the stovetop. And the key to popping these guys out is you're gonna do it from the bottom, because that's where they're gonna be the strongest. Look, how cool is that? We have half of our circle. So let's pop another one out, and you may break a couple here and there, but that's okay. So you see how the edges are a little rigid like that? What we want to do is we want to put that, let's take this over here, this should be warm. We want to roll that in here like so, and it's going to make it even. So then we have that one done. Let's do our other half here. And you just want a little bit. You want it to be just melted enough that you can work with it. So now we want to put our hot chocolate in here. Now I like my hot chocolate with Organic Valley milk, but do you like yours with milk or with water? I say milk. So we got our marshmallows in there. And now we're just gonna piece these two halves together. They're still a little melted, so you can kind of rub it like that. Then stick it back in the fridge for a little bit to make that harden again and make it nice and cold. And then we're gonna drop them in our Organic Valley milk. So before I drop in my hot chocolate bomb, I am gonna add some Enchanted Rock vodka. This makes a nice adult hot chocolate. Kind of tastes like a White Russian. So yummy, and it's perfect for those cold days. Now we're gonna add our Organic Valley whole milk. You want to not fill it completely, because now we're going to add our chocolate bomb. And I'm going to tip it a little bit so you can see. We're going to plop that guy in there. He's going to roll around. Watch. Surprise! All of our marshmallows and yumminess come popping out. Enjoy your hot chocolate bomb, guys.